I am the youngest Republican in the New Jersey legislature. I just turned 42. I just had a colonoscopy. That's not that young. The people listening to this, get engaged. There's nothing stopping you.
Hi, Mike.
How are you, Mike?
Do you go by Mike or Michael?
I go by Mike.
Okay,
My
like
mom
Michael.
and grandmother call me Michael.
What's your middle name?
Joseph.
Me too. That's so weird.
I'm the third.
Well, let me ask you a question. What got you into politics?
What got me into politics? You know, I think I've always been someone who wanted to give back to the community one way or another. So, you know, that's as a kid getting involved in school or scouts or things like that got you contributing to your community, volunteering, going to the parades. And surely it must have been somewhere along the line that I caught the bug. I ended up running for office, county committee. You know what county committees are all about on the Republican and Democratic side. I ran when I was 18. I was a senior in high school, won a contested race for county committee up in Sussex County, served for a few terms, took a break in college and so forth, and then jumped back into local government.
What do you think is the most rewarding part about the job?
It is the ability to help people close to home. And when I say close to home, in my legislative district, this is where I grew up. This is where I'm raising 3 kids right now. So if you are in my district, you are close to home as far as I'm concerned. I care about the people in the 24th district, truly, and in Northwest New Jersey. So if we can break a logjam for them, help them with a state agency, or even better, and we've done this a few times recently, pass a bill down here in Trenton that actually improves their lives, which doesn't happen a lot in Trenton these days, but when we're able to make that happen, that is enormously gratifying.
What do you think is the major concern with doing this nowadays? Like, do you find like the budget's a big issue? Do you find like, you know, with the ICE push now is a bigger issue? What do you think is like the most pressing issue in Trenton right now?
Yeah, oh, that's an interesting question. So what I think are the most pressing issues might be different from what the governor and the majority party down here thinks, because I think we have very serious challenges in the state of New Jersey. We pay the highest total tax burden in all of America: property taxes, income taxes, business taxes. Our electric rates are going through the roof. There are enormous challenges in New Jersey. And unfortunately, the governor, and she's only been on the job about a month and a half, only wants to talk about the president and Washington, D.C. None of those problems were created by the president or Washington, D.C., and none of those problems are going to be solved by the president or Washington, D.C. That's our job as elected leaders in New Jersey, whether you're the governor, in the Senate, or in the Assembly. We have a job to do to fix New Jersey problems, and I think our time is best spent fixing them instead of fixating on Washington, D.C.
Yeah, I find it very frustrating whenever I see Trump bad, Gateway Tunnel, it's just, you know, ICE. It's just an endless barrage of, I'm not actually going to do anything. I'm just going to rile people up. And are you seeing that as well too from the other side?
Absolutely. Everything's nationalized these days. And that's true in a campaign setting. Unfortunately, it's becoming true in the policymaking setting. You mentioned ICE, you mentioned Gateway. All of these national issues are creeping into New Jersey. We as a state, and particularly our governor and the majority party here, have taken their eye off the ball of the New Jersey problems that are within our power to solve, and instead are playing political pundits, talking about everything that's happening in Washington.
What do you think would be a better approach for Republicans moving forward to get that message out more?
Venues like this are important. I mean, keep in mind, we're doing it with fewer people, and that matters. We used to be in a caucus of 28, now we're in a caucus of 23. 23 out of 80. 23 members out of 80. There are no more freshmen after me. I like to remind people, I am the youngest Republican in the New Jersey legislature. I just turned 42.
Wow.
I just had a colonoscopy. That's not that young. We have work to do as a party to reach out to young people, grow this party from the bottom up, and I think that's got to be our emphasis. So to answer your question, I think we got to be talking about those issues that resonate with New Jerseyans who care about New Jersey issues, things like being able to buy their first home, which is hard as heck for young New Jerseyans. The average age of a first-time home buyer in New Jersey, 45.
Is it
45.
Wow, it's crazy.
Imagine graduating college, maybe with debt, which is a whole other issue, and you say to yourself, I only have to work for 20 more years, then I'll buy my first house in New Jersey. That's a big problem. It's a policy problem. It's a societal problem. Think about the downstream effects of this. If you are not settling into a community and considering having a family in a community and contributing back to that community, that was my answer to your first question. How I got involved was being in a community, volunteering, going to the parades, et cetera, et cetera. If you don't start doing that until you're 45, I think you're going to continue to see these challenges in our communities where there's no togetherness, there's no feeling of cohesiveness, and everything is national. And then we fall into the trap of just talking about Washington, D.C. all the time.
Yeah, when I'm online, I feel it's blame, 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 and no solutions at all.
Yeah.
It's frustrating on my side because I want a GOP that is really out there offline and online. And I hope they do a better job in the upcoming future. I see you're doing a great job online lately.
We're trying. I mean, that entails speaking when we're down here in Trenton, in committee and on the floor, and not just speaking to hear ourselves talk, but speaking and asking basic questions of the majority to keep them honest and keep them on their toes. I like to say we are a state government on autopilot. Bills come and go. If they're posted, they pass. If they're on a committee agenda, they tend to come out of that committee. If they make it to the board list, they tend to pass out of the assembly. How many members are actually reading those bills line by line? I can tell you, the members of the minority party, we don't have a choice but to read those bills. Number one, because that's our job and we were elected to do it. But number two, there's not an expectation that we vote a certain way down here. If you're in the majority party, you can put a paperweight on the yes button at your desk and go hang out in the hallway. If you're in the minority party, you're calling balls and strikes on everything, which means you're reading the bills, you're weighing the pros and cons, and coming to a sound decision. I try to read every bill 3 times. First to understand it, a second time to determine what my position is on it, and third to gut check some of my assumptions. I am reasonably confident the majority party isn't doing that. Otherwise, you wouldn't see them vote yes on literally everything.
Well, just keep calling them out. You know, when I'm reporting them online, you know, I make sure I email, phone number, and that really is effective to get people involved in legislation. So definitely thank you for calling that out.
Absolutely. I just told you that most bills when they're posted in committee pass, most bills when they're on the board list pass. There are some exceptions. There are some exceptions, and that's when enough New Jerseyans speak up. It can feel a little lonely down here in a caucus of 23, in an assembly of 80. Well, we certainly don't have a large caucus and we don't have a lot of allies down here, but when they show up at a committee meeting, regular folks, businesses, organizations, nonprofits, and speak in these committee hearings and explain to the majority party why a specific bill doesn't work, sometimes we are able to force that bill to be pulled or amended or modified in some other way. So there are ways to impact the system. We'd do a hell of a better job if we had the majority down here, but for the next 2 years, we're operating from a small minority, and that's the way the game's going to be played.
Tell people something about you they might not know, like a hobby of some sort.
Something about me that they might not know. You know, I'm a dad of 3 girls. I spend most of my time hanging out with my kids and my wife. We just came off of a holiday weekend where we were mostly in pajamas, doing Legos and watching the Olympics. And that is the best weekend I could ever ask for.
What was your favorite event at the Olympics?
My girls liked the figure skating. I enjoyed some of the bobsled. I like some of the freestyle skiing. It's great.
I figured you might be a hockey guy.
We like the hockey. We just want Americans to win. End of story.
Of course, 100%.
That's the name of the game.
Taylor ham or pork roll?
It is Taylor ham. It's Taylor ham. I think we disagree on this.
I'm a guy that grew up in Philly and then moved to Jersey. So for me, I'm always going to be a pork roll guy. But I love the rivalry that occurs.
It's Taylor ham, egg, and cheese on an onion bagel.
On an onion bagel?
Onion
really?
bagel.
I'm more of a chocolate chip bagel kind of guy.
Oh my God.
Is that blasphemous?
It is.
Is it really?
You can't mix the sweet and savory.
You 100%.
Can't do it.
You don't ever dip your pretzels
No,
in like
sir.
icing?
No way.
Ever?
Can't be done.
Like butter?
I'm too conservative, apparently.
I don't think that's, I think it's blasphemous not to do that, honestly. I'm not too sure.
I keep the savory together.
You know, well, listen, man, I appreciate you doing the interview and everything, and thank you for your time. Any final thoughts at all?
Keep doing what you're doing, and the people listening to this, get engaged. If you never have before, there's nothing stopping you. It's very easy, as you can attest, to come here into the State House, speak on a bill. This is your right as a citizen of this country, as a voter in this state. Show up, help us out.
Where can they follow you?
You can follow me on Facebook, Assemblyman Mike Inganamort, on Twitter, Mike Inganamort, on Instagram, Mike Inganamort NJ. We're constantly putting out content, trying to keep the majority honest.
Well, keep up the great work. I really appreciate it, Mike.
I appreciate
Michael
it.
Joseph.
Michael Joseph, same to you.
Well,
Thanks
you
a
again.
lot.
Appreciate your time.
Appreciate it.